Hi planners, thanks so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. It's me, Chloe from Chloetry Plans, and in this video, I'm going to be uncoiling my Erin Condren A5 Daily Duo. I will explain a little bit more about why I'm uncoiling it in this video, but let's not waste any time and get right into it. If you are a new viewer, welcome to my channel. If you are a True Blue subscriber, welcome back. Go ahead and give me some kind of flower emoji in the comments to let me know you are a True Blue subscriber. What I'm going to need to uncoil this planner are 2 binder clips. I think these binder clips are 1/2 inch. And then I'm also going to need some pliers. Now, I have this needle nose plier. These are my husband's. They're dirty, they're grungy. He uses them for work. And so I'm gonna need these. I do know that they have craft pliers that have like a rubber tip on them. Those might be helpful because you don't want to nick your coil. And what I mean by that is this coil is rose gold. And so I don't want to nick it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put tape on it in order to keep it from doing that. So let's get into this process. I want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, it helps me be able to grow as a content creator, and it lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content so that it can recommend my videos to other viewers. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. It means a lot to me, and give this video a big thumbs up. So now that we have these planners side by side, I'm going to talk about why I'm uncoiling them. So the first reason is just because I want to start the planner sooner. This planner starts in July through December for this volume, and then the second volume is going to be January through June. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take June out of this planner, okay, put it in the beginning of this one, and then move December over to this planner and shift it. So I have to uncoil both of them and then figure out, you know, take the June out of here, put it in here, take December out of here, put it in here. And then I also think I want to add a little paper to it in the back because I just like to have extra paper. So I may add some paper to the back of it if there seems to be enough room. I don't want to bulk it up too much because I'm looking on this coil and it already looks pretty full, but I think it can stand a couple of extra pages of notebook paper. In the back of this one, let's see if we have any paper. I don't think we do. Yeah, there's no notebook paper, and I just like to have a few pages of paper. So I'm gonna add like probably 5 pages of paper to the back just to have a little bit of paper back here to use for on-the-go notes and things like that. I like to just have some type of paper. Now, we do get pieces of paper throughout the planner, so that's why I'm only adding like 5 pages, because you already get paper. In each week, you get a page. So after each week, I have 1 page of paper. So it's not that serious, but I just like the idea of having some extra paper in the back for little random notes and things like that. So let's go ahead and uncoil these planners. First, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little tape on here, and then I'll get started. All right, so now I have clear tape on these. I know it's an ugly job, but I just didn't feel like obsessing over making it perfect. It's just for this video, and then I'm gonna take it back off so my husband can use them at work. So they didn't need to be pretty. You can also use washi tape if you have some laying around. I just didn't feel like I needed to make it pretty. So there we go. All right, so this is the part that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm gonna go ahead and take my bookmarks off, and I'm also going to take off, I'm trying to think, do I wanna take off my covers? I think so. So I'm gonna take off my covers, front and back. And for those who might be new to Erin Condren, this is the In Bloom design, and this is the In Bloom A5 Daily Duo. All right, we're gonna take out that perpetual calendar. It's a little stuck in there. And now we're gonna get to uncoiling. So I'm gonna uncoil this one first. It really doesn't matter the order because I need pages from both of them, but I'm gonna take this one first and uncoil it, and take my binder clip, put it on there nice and firm. Now, I watched some videos because I do have an uncoiling video, an old one. So if you want to see me uncoil a bigger planner, go ahead and check out that video in the cards. I do have an uncoiling video already, but I don't have a video of me uncoiling the A5 size. So I don't know, I just felt like why not show y'all that process. But someone was saying that they had the idea of why not, you know, split this in half and then uncoil it that way, and it's easier. That may be true, but I kind of just want to do a one and done kind of situation. I don't doubt them though. I feel like that method would probably work. Now we have it clipped, and I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to move this part of the coil. So you can see it there, and take it and move it. Now, this tape is making it a little hard. Let me cut the tape. It's a little bit in the way. There we go. Try to get in there. I'm so nervous. I get nervous every time I do this. Okay, it's out. So now this is out. So now that it's out of the coil, now I'm just gonna go ahead and go back in and try to straighten it out some, because the key is we don't want this coil to interfere with the pages. So you see I'm uncoiling, you see now how it is. So we want it to come straight through. I could do it like this probably, but I don't know about it going straight through. So I'm just gonna straighten it out just a little bit more. I feel like I kind of made it worse. I feel like I kind of made it worse. It's a little bit different than me uncoiling my 7x9. I'm going to be honest about that. I think I'm going to leave it like that because I'm not sure. Let me try this one just to see. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do with this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and uncoil it because I don't see how I could do it any better. So as you can see, it's coming out of the coil. This makes me really nervous just because it's not straight and I want it to be straighter. I'm gonna try one more time. There we go. It's a little bit better. Now the planner is uncoiled. You see the coil here. And I'm gonna check to see if there's any damage. The vellum is still intact, which is usually the thing that gets messed up first. Looks like it's all intact. I didn't mess up any pages, so I'm feeling good about that. So now I just need to go ahead and uncoil the second planner in order to be able to put them together and mix some things up here. All right, so now both coils are off, and honestly, that was a lot harder than it was on the 7x9 planner that I did a long time ago. So if you have a 7x9, good news, it's not that hard. But if you have an A5 planner, this was actually challenging. And so I'm not saying that to discourage you from doing it, but yeah, I mean, it was a little harder than I remembered. And I also kind of, if you can see right here, it's a little bulked up. So if you're nervous about this and you have an A5 planner, you know, it might not, I don't know. I don't know if I would do it again to the point where I'm not even gonna uncoil that notebook that I wanted to uncoil. I'm just gonna snip pages out and I'll show you how to do that. But anyway, I came this far and I really wanted to do this, so I'm sticking with it, all right? So with that being said, and I might also go ahead and snip the vellum too, and I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. So I say all that to say it wasn't as easy as I remember, and the second coil didn't come off as easy on this one either. So either it's me and I'm just having a hard time, or it's the A5 size that might make it a little more challenging. So either way, I'm just gonna go ahead now and remove December out of this planner. The reason why I'm removing December and all of its pages is because I do not want December to make it too bulky. And so it's not because I don't want December in there, it's just it might make the planner a little bit too bulky. So I'm going to take the last pages from behind December and put them back so it'll look like this. All right, so this is the part of the video where I went ahead and took apart the planner and put it back together with the new pages. Unfortunately, my camera went out during this part of the video. There was some kind of glitch, so I didn't get that part, but now you'll see me putting the coil back on and putting the planner back together. Just know that it goes from June to November and then from December to May. Now that I have the coil back on, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure all the pages are in, okay? I hope I didn't skip the coil or skip a page or anything. Looks like it's all good though. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and bend the coil back so that the coil stays on the planner. And what I did was grabbed another planner that hasn't been uncoiled just to look at it and make sure the coil is right. So this coil, you can see how it's bent in on both sides, and I'm just going to try to mimic that because I want to make sure that I get it as close as possible to, you know, how it looked before. Finally, both planners are coiled. Okay, that was a lot of work. I am just going to be completely honest here. If I hadn't have done this before, I would have gotten discouraged, but because I've done it before, you know, I just felt like, you know, it was going to work out. I had a good feeling about it, but it was one of those things where it's like, you know, it definitely tested my patience a little bit. And so if you're on the fence about this, like I said, it worked out really well with the 7x9. I'm really not sure why this one was a little bit more challenging. Part of the reason is I think this coil is smaller. So maybe the smaller the coil, the more challenging it might be to put this back together. So I'm just letting you all know that that was the case. I will not be uncoiling this specific planner again, just because I feel like I might mess some things up if I try to uncoil it again. So I'm being fully transparent. I would definitely recommend checking out my 7x9 uncoiling video. It's an older video, but it's still the same method because I do think it'll be, you know, good to watch. If you have a 7x9 planner, I say go for it. So with that being said, and also let me just say this, if you don't mind a challenge, I still recommend uncoiling it. I'm still happy that I uncoiled it. I'm still happy that I have June in here now, that I can start my planner early. Like, I don't have any regrets. It's just I like to be transparent in my videos. So now I'm going to snip the coil here. And this is another method, you know, if I only had a few pages, like if this was a weekly planner, I would have snipped my pages out and I would have just done it this way. And if I had like 8 pages, but because I had like 30 pages or 15, I should say 15, 20 pages, I felt like that was a lot to snip. And that's why, well, 15 times 2 or 30 times 2, well, 20 times 2. Well, actually it would be 15 times 2 because I needed to move 2 months. So because I had to move 2 months, that would be like 30 something odd pages. And I felt like that was a lot to snip. You see how long it's taking me just to do this one page. So I don't have any regrets. But if you're moving less pages, I say go for this method or adding pages, because I'm about to use this method to add some pages to my planner. So now that I went ahead and snipped it, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in like you would do anything like the cover, snap in dashboard, anything else you would snap in, it goes in the same way. So you can see I'm just pushing it in. If you wanna use a tool, you can. You know, you can use something to push it in for you. For example, you know, little bookmarks we get, we could take that and just use that to push it in. And because the snip is so small and the coil is bigger than the little cut, it doesn't come out typically. So I don't anticipate this being a big deal. If you're rough with your planner, maybe it'll come out, but as you can see, it's on there pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover on. So finally, my planners are put back together. I have a June start in this one and a December start in the other, and I couldn't be more happy with this redating process. At some point, I would love if Erin Condren had the option to be able to, you know, pick your start month, because I would totally pick June, or I would have picked May as a start month. That would be really nice, but for now, this worked for me. If you have any questions about this uncoiling process, please let me know in the description below. My top tips are, make sure you cover this with some type of tape. I would go ahead and purchase craft ones. If I can find them, I will put the link in my description below if I can find the craft ones I'm referring to. But if you already have these, make sure you put tape on them to try to protect this part from your coil, because it will scratch your coil if you have, you know, a rose gold, gold, or black coil. My other tip is to use binder clips. However, with this planner, it actually was easier without binder clips for me to put the coil back. So it just depends. You got to play around with it. I think taking the coil out, I still think it was the best option. But as far as putting it back, I did have to take these off midway to like feed it through. I did have to do it off camera because I had to kind of like put it against my shirt or against my body and like finagle it. And that just wasn't suited well for camera. So that's my top 2 tips for this. And of course, just make sure you have everything in there you want. So I'm going to do the same method that I did with the vellum for adding paper. So I'm about to just snip some paper out of here. And the way I'm going to do this is just take my scissors and go in here and snip. So now I have my extra paper that I snipped out, and I'm just gonna add it to the back because I just feel like I can always use a few pages of added paper to the back of my planner. And I'm gonna put it right here where I feel like it should have been in the first place. You know, they could have put this on a bigger coil and then allowed us some paper. So that's just my opinion. But you know, what I do love about Erin Condren is they'll probably do a survey asking us to give feedback about these planners, and so that's something that I might add. Again, you do get paper throughout the planner, and it is a daily planner, so this is totally just personal preference here. So now my planners are officially done. This was a process, but I think it's totally worth it. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and set this planner up. So make sure you go ahead and watch my planner set up video, which will be in the cards and in the comments and description below. So you don't want to miss it. You want to see how I set this planner up and make it beautiful. Go ahead and check that out right now in the description below and in the cards. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and give me a clap emoji, because that's how I feel when I give myself a round of applause for even finishing this, because there were moments where I didn't know if I was gonna make it. So go ahead and give me a clap emoji in the comments if you made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and I will see you all in the next one.